Welcome to Momentum Monday. Today is March 21st, 2021. Howard, what did you buy from Miami?
I bought an NFT of Miami.
Like the virtual one? Virtual Miami?
Virtual Miami was fun. I was writing about it so everybody can catch up on my blog. It's cool. Good food, diverse people, good coffee. I'm sure it's just sweltering hot come next month. You and I couldn't last. Your hair, you would just be dripping the Bulgarian. All that coloring from your hair would drip on your forehead.
I don't have any coloring.
Oh my, really? You're not coloring that? That's the rumor. There's a chat room about Ivan's hair on Discord. Even Ellen thought that was funny. All right, let's go to no one wants to hear us talk about your hair coloring. By the way, there was a lot of fake people in Florida. Let it fly. What happened while I was gone?
I mean, the NFT Mania kind of spilled over the public markets. First of all, the Fed said that it's not worried about rising interest rates this year, maybe next year. But it seems the market is kind of worried because interest rates, the long-term interest rates have been rising, which is putting pressure on some of the SPACs, the recent IPOs, some of the software, the tech in general. So tech has been weak in the past month or so because of rising interest rates.
But all things considered, no, Ivan. I mean, they say, like considering how fast interest rates have risen, this is a blip. It's not really, Facebook.
Yeah,
Facebook kind of was breaking out.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, Facebook, I think it's one of the kind of NFT stocks in a way. Maybe just the market is trying to pick the companies that potentially could be big in all that NFT space. Is the new hot word in the market. So last week we saw so many of those tiny Chinese and Hong Kong stocks related to that space just went up 3 to 5 times. I mean, I'll just show you just a few of them just to get an idea of.
Oh my goodness, what the hell is this? Provides electronic. Oh, yeah. So then the private market, these are flying. Okay, so there's some public ones that are doing the same thing.
That money is definitely spilling over public markets, and this is why we saw on Friday Facebook and Etsy being so strong, and maybe Pinterest as well. Definitely, the market is trying to kind of pick the winners. So you even have companies like, for example, this one that I traded, Hall of Fame, that also started to break out. And when they asked them, I think last week on Friday, if they're doing anything about NFT, they haven't done anything. They said that they're considering it. They're learning about that technology.
Well, now they're going to do something.
The market is like once.
You woke up the penny stock promoters is what you did.
10 steps ahead of everyone else. It's just predicting moves that even the founders don't know they're going to make.
Yep, that is true. That is true. I mean, I am watching the tokens. I haven't even been watching the stock market. I've just been watching Binance and FTX and Helium. I mean, I don't even, like they're on StockTwits, but you can't get quotes on IBD. We're going to have to go to a modern partner to combine with IBD's great charts because some of these new tokens, I'm lucky to be an investor in through some funds that I'm in. The stories are if you could write the best story in the world, these things wouldn't be worth what they're worth. So it's the speculation is going on. If you pull up frontier markets, here, you want to see speculation in the world, go FM. There you go. Nigeria. Let me just see what else is in this thing. Nigeria, because you just can't get enough of Morocco, Kenya, and Nigeria. So there's an NFT just on its own, Africa. So that doesn't, so whoop, my dog just heard an NFT and was going into.
I can. What are you saying, Howard?
There's people in the background now. The NFT Cameo by Ellen there. The frontier markets are listen. There's a lot of risk on it. It's. I think the markets are digesting this well. The Dow. I think the Dow hit an all-time high, didn't it?
I mean, the S&P also did. So
No,
definitely
it did.
right now in consolidation kind of sideways range. And maybe they'll stay there for a while. They just think the higher interest rates and the rising economy and all that new technology, maybe it will spend some time just going sideways and until the new leaders kind of emerge.
Yeah, I mean, if we go back a year, Ivan, March 16th this week is the worst day. What was the? Let me just look at some numbers here. On March 16th, the S&P fell 12%. Is that true?
It was true. I remember that at that point, almost every single day, the market had to close in the morning because of.
Yeah, I'm just looking at some old posts. If you bought them, okay, so it's the third worst day in history just a year ago. I don't know. And then you got the VIX kind of just breaking, dropping down into the gap that was created a year ago as well. So, risk is on. Doesn't mean you have to be crazy. What are you watching? I mean, I think with Facebook and then McDonald's, one of my 8 to 80 companies, is playing catch up right now. So, while tech and software digest, or some of these laggards like Facebook and McDonald's, are starting to form the right side of a breakout potential. So it's pretty healthy action. I mean,
there's something for everyone. They're good short setups. They're good long setups.
where are some short setups? What are you seeing on the short setup?
In the tech space. I mean, for example, Shopify is not looking great right now. If it's a bear flag, if it loses its level here, like 1100s, I think it can easily drop 1,000 points or so. But I think those are all, and for also Crowdspace, like a bunch of those names in that field, they all have formed very flags, but it all depends on the action in the Nasdaq 100. I'm thinking if that 310 level is lost, you might see those bear flags having maybe a little bit 10-15% downside. But if Nasdaq manages to recapture its 50-day and just goes above this 325 level, you just the FOMO is back.
Yeah. I think the bear market in bonds, I think, who did I see write something about this? Treasuries moved into a bear market recently. Ryan Dietrich said, that's interesting. I mean, we're coming off such low rate levels, but that's a nasty retracement there. So I think stocks have held up pretty well. If you told me that rates would shoot up like that and the Nasdaq would be like 4 or 5% off its all-time high, and Facebook, I don't know. There's just a lot of money sloshing around, and then the stimulus checks are out, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they are.
And then what else can I think? I mean, I think it's really showing up in Bitcoin and in crypto, right? Where you have the illusion. And by the way, until proven wrong, it's not an illusion, it's reality, is these fixed supply products like Bitcoin, the bubble continues. More people get sucked in the bubble. I was reading the Morgan Stanley now. There's an article, I was just reading. The case for Morgan Stanley sent out something to me, wealth management. The case for cryptocurrency as an investable asset class in a diversified portfolio. I don't even know what that means. Okay, I don't need Morgan Stanley, who's missed 9 years of this, now making a case for me. So, everybody's in the pool. They're recommending it to wealth management clients. Little do they know that I made my wealth from that over 9 years. Now I got to take advice from them. So, wow, look at that move, huh? And you see Grayscale, this company here, Grayscale, I'm friends with a lot of the people there, $45 billion in assets. Okay, the company is less than 7 years old, and most of that money's come in the last year. VanEck ETFs have 65 billion, and they've been around 50 years. So, if we pull up GBTC again, I mean, in just a few assets, they have 45 billion. And this isn't even truly owning crypto, right? This is, Grayscale obviously owns crypto, But just like GLD, you're buying a derivative at some level. You're not truly owning crypto. So it's really fascinating.
Yeah, I mean,
I
fascinating.
think that's the most fascinating chart right now. And then gold, which is supposedly fixed, but isn't. And that's why I think it lags, is it's not truly a fixed supply. And people wonder, wow, they're printing money. Why isn't gold working? Well, there's a better alternative to it until someone proves that the religion of 21 million tokens doesn't matter. That's where the money's crowding into. But I thought that was the most interesting. Bear market and treasuries, Morgan Stanley putting out crypto into their portfolios, frontier markets, picking up some of the slack, NFT stocks, like you found, are going.
Yeah.
And some of these tech stocks like Shopify could be rolling over.
They could be, we don't know, or they could just be in a choppy range for a while.
Where's biotech and other industries that you're looking at?
So also all the blockchain related stocks, I mean, even though they're derivatives, they're also kind of setting up.
For example?
For example, MSTR, which they keep buying Bitcoin. So
It's digested those gains pretty damn well.
Clear State found that it can just go to 1,000.
Yeah.
And then all the other ones in the space. So typically assets that are really hard to understand get the highest valuation. And currently, these are all the NFT and blockchain related stock. For most people, it's really hard to understand them.
Even me. That's why I just refuse to, I'm sticking to software. I'm sticking to stuff that I know has high margins. They go through periods like this when they don't do anything. But doesn't mean you can't play around. Look at these things. Wow. I mean, I would have thought this was a scam, Riot blockchain, and the thing's just bigger than ever.
I did when it was like a $4 stock. Also, some of the cannabis related.
That's a good setup. This company, what's his name? Jason was on my podcast from TerraSyn, and he has a big position in this. It's a couple $1 billion weed fund, cannabis fund, and he loves this company. Obviously, it's had a great run, but now it's institutionally owned. It's the purest play on the distribution play, legal in the U.S. It's not a pink sheet stock like all the other multi-state operators.
HYFM, I think,
Huh.
really in the same space. So Tilray kind of is interesting to hear as well if we can bounce it near its 50-day. So the cannabis space in general is at an interesting intersection.
Yeah, MSOS is the proxy that I've been following, and it's a tight formation or after great gains. So yeah.
But it could also be a bear flag. So it's
I'm just mostly watching and reading and learning. But my 8 to 80 stocks are kind of a mixed bag. Mastercard breaking out.
No. On Friday,
no?
Mastercard and Visa got hit pretty hard. Visa because of that.
Oh, I think the antitrust lawsuit. You're right.
I mean, Mastercard was sold off initially as well. I kind of bought the sell off, and then it gapped. Then I just scalped it on Friday, but definitely.
Whoops. Okay. Disney looked like it was going to break out of the NFT king. I would think they're the NFT king, but didn't take the breakout yet.
Is actually all the gambling stocks are holding really well. Let's go over a few of them. So DraftKings near all-time highs. What was the other one? Gamble, GMBL.
MGM.
Very choppy, but overall in an uptrend. The other one is GAN, also kind of also choppy, also in
MGM.
What was the other one? PN and PEN.
Yeah.
MGM, you're right. MGM. It's kind of moving with the rest of the casinos, but definitely holding well above its rising 20-day. So as you can see, its relative strength line is rising. That means it's outperforming the general market. So the gambling space, the cannabis space, the NFT space, and also one more space, another vice industry, ammo and gun stocks, for whatever reason. I don't know why. They've been holding well. Let me show you a few names. RGR is one of them. And then, kind of It's a slow mover, but it kind of setting up as the Smith and Wesson.
I think it's SW.
Yeah, this one. Also, kind of setting up long base. And you look at the numbers here, the earnings and sales growth in the past few quarters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then so a lot of speculation. Then the SPACs, there's 276 SPACs this year. I'm guilty as charged here. 89, almost 90 billion raised. So we're at more than last year. So 3 months into the year, listen, that's speculation. I don't know what to tell people. Like the advanced decline line's good. There's just not enough supply yet. I mean, I don't know what to tell people. They're just the financialization of everything is in full force. It's going to be nasty, nasty, nasty on the other side. Rates or no rates, just supply. Everybody wants to be in the game right now. There's a million ways to play, digital, stocks, but again, as money comes out of bonds, this is an overwhelming amount of money that doesn't have enough growth. So unless rates continue to tick up, and they probably won't, because the government's going to fight against it. This was just a tiny, tiny pullback in the scheme of things. So I don't know. I'm definitely I'm more leaning on the bullish side, just because it's digested this rate gain pretty well. I'm definitely not looking at short stuff. So we'll just check back in next week. I mean, it's a healthy tape. I would just describe it as a healthy tape.
Kind of, I would say it's a tape for nimble traders. So unless you're nimble in this tape, you can easily see your profits dwindle, disappear. So kind of the past 2 weeks required to take profits more often and quick. But if you have a longer term view, obviously it's just a blip.
Yeah, for me, it's like I definitely am not seeing 2020 type returns, and those were outsized by any year. I'm getting chopped around in my long-term positions that are in ranges. And you're right, like anything breaks out, it's not happening the same way unless it's one of these highly speculative, thinly traded stocks. So like Disney didn't make the move. All right, well, we'll check back in next week. Have a great week.
Yeah, you too, Howard.